Please listen carefully.
Well, hello, universe, and welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Kristy Jansen.
And I'm Summers McKay.
And we are part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to one focused on solutions.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And this week, we are delivering you bite-worthy, snack-worthy versions of the Optimist Daily Update because Kristy and Summers are on vacation, sort of. So we've done some pre-records. Welcome to Austin Week on the Optimist Daily Update.
Exactly. So we're recording these shorty sessions because Summers is in the process of moving and I am in my quarantine bubble. But we're featuring solutions that we have covered over this last year or so about Austin. They have broader impact. They're not just about this one town, but it's an example of how Austin is leading the way in different areas. And before we get into that, though, I just have to share this one funny thing that happened the other day in my little quarantine bubble with my 8-year-old friend, James, who asked me what I do. He was asking me, what is my job? What do I do? And so I played for him one of our Optimist Daily Update episodes, and he started laughing his head off. He said,
"Really?"
He said, "Why did you change your voice so much?" Because I guess I have a radio voice that's a little different than how I normally talk. I just think that was funny. And maybe it's that Amelia just like,
she makes us all sound like Greta Garbo, right? She auto-tunes us to these amazing voices.
Because he just was like, you sound so good. You sound so good. I'm like, that's how I always sound, James. He says, no, you changed your voice really well.
Well, Kristy, to me, you sound so good. I love it. I love hearing your voice every day.
Anyway, I just had to share that.
I think it's funny because obviously we have a lot of amazing listeners out there, and we're so grateful for all of you who listen to us, and we're grateful for your support on this journey. I, on a personal level, want to thank everybody who has just been sending in notes and stories and ideas for the Optimist Daily, and then everyone who's been communicating with me on social, supporting us and our adventure into a new chapter. Part of what I really love about this next chapter is diving in and learning about change makers in the community that we are going to. And the story that we have pulled today was from our January 8th, 2020 edition of the Optimist Daily.
So this comes from the before times, Summers.
Exactly.
We have to acknowledge this comes from the before times.
Right. This is before COVID. This is before moves. This is before quarantine. This is a business who has been doing good and doing well for a very long time. And you might actually even recognize, if you navigate to the Optimist Daily and search for Vital Farms, you might actually even recognize some of the products and the product packaging. The headline reads, Vital Farms gives you a 360-degree view of where your eggs really come from. Now, sourcing and high-quality ethical sourcing and sustainable sourcing of animal products is so critical. It's actually critical for all food products, but a lot of focus has been put on ethical treatment of animals and then the health and wellness of the food production as it comes across. Vital Farms, which is an Austin, Texas-based company that I am completely fangirling on, unveiled an initiative to make sure you know and see exactly where the eggs were coming from. It's part of what they're calling their traceability program. And in fact, there are 360-degree pasture videos that feature hens walking over grass and leaves, pecking at the ground, clucking periodically. And no, there are not any cages in sight. Vital Farms is an incredibly successful company. If you navigate to their social media, as I greedily did this morning following them, they have a brilliant story. You know, it was a couple with a sustainable vision and an intention and 20 hens that they said, here's what we're going to do and here's how we're going to grow. So 2007 to 2021, they have done incredibly well. And this is one of those opportunities to really demonstrate that entrepreneurial mindsets can do good and do well. Kristy, we followed up on Vital Farms in a Optimist View.
We did, in a view that actually Amelia wrote, our producer, who's also one of our writers. She wrote a view for the View, I think in September of 2020. talking about impact investing and why companies that have ESG standards, environmental, social, and good government goals, can be such a force in the consumer world. And Vital Farms came up there because they were sort of a purpose-driven company, and it's a sustainable agriculture-focused company that was originally founded in 2007. And inspectors were kind of skeptical at first that they could make a go of, nicely raised chickens, right? Because the big ag businesses are all about efficiency and keeping costs down, even if it means that the livestock you're growing is not treated very ethically. And they thought this was wrong. So even though the investors were skeptical at first, the company is now valued at more than $1 billion. So that is successful. And what it's showing you is that impact investments that can focus on health, education, community building, supporting small businesses, fair trade, regenerative agriculture, sustainable agriculture, these are not just about feeling good, but it's also and doing good for the environment, but it can be very successful. And I think is a more sustainable way of building a business. So I'm thrilled that we are focusing on this cool company, which is in Austin. And I'm sure that Summers, maybe we can have them on the podcast. I'd love to talk to them. I'd love to talk to someone from Vital Farms.
Exactly. Meanwhile, in the chat on this, I'm messaging Amelia, the leadership team, get these people on. We can't wait to talk to them. So if there is another business that you guys know about that is extremely sustainable, extremely successful, and walks the walk and talks the talk on how to do good and do well, we want to know about it. We want to feature it. We want to interview them for the Optimist Daily Update. And until then, we promise to continue to share positive, solution-based stories about how you can participate in this changing world and change it for the good. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this mini-sode of the Optimist Daily Update, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.